Yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about also is the general lack of efficiency in public sector, um, in the public sector. For example, I had a look the other day. Kāinga Ora has 3,000 employees.
Wow.
Um, and in terms of delivery, they have just sort of gone over 1,000 units per year. And
1,000 houses?
1,000 houses, 2, 3 bedroom, medium density kind of thing. If you compare to some other companies, if you look at private companies, and this is where I don't know where the disjoint is. If you look at Australia, a few of the large private developers who deliver 2,500 houses per year, and they have something like 300 or 400 employees. And of course, Kāinga Ora also manages tenancies, so you can discount some employees there. But in terms of their general procurement and delivery, you have layers and layers of middle management, yet the delivery outcomes are not being met. If you think about the number of consultants that are engaged on top of what they have in-house, it's just mind-boggling. So I think, latest that has come out from Kāinga Ora, something that's been in the making for a number of years, is something called Project Velocity. It's meant to be delivering projects at speed and scale. And, a lot of consultants been paid to actually come up with the idea. They then employ minders to look after the teams that are now working on this Project Velocity, putting pressure on contractors in order to be able to deliver houses in a very short time. And the question really is that why do we actually need a project velocity? Why couldn't we just have a project average? And having delivered this over the last few years instead of just not meeting any kind of target, and all of a sudden creating this new system to fast track everything, putting a lot of pressure on contractors who are already under pressure, to make this happen. So
Is it working though?
we don't know. I
It's
think
not
there's
implemented
one or
yet?
two projects have started, and that sort of leads also into procurement for Project Velocity, where again they have in-house teams. They create schedule and something that you might know, schedules of quantities
Yep.
sent out to tender. You tender it, goes back, and they find out actually the schedules we can't really compare pricing, so then they engage external quantity surveying firms to then assess these tenders. As they start assessing it, they find actually it's very difficult to assess, so the QS then sends out another schedule which is similar but not quite the same to the contractors, and to reprice.
How can you get a schedule of quantity wrong? A bill of quantity wrong?
It's because someone's just copied, pasted from here and there, and tried to make one. It's just mind-boggling. Like these sorts of things, is happening with people that are experienced, deliver hundreds of houses year on year. Why does it happen? I've got no explanation for that.
So in summary, you're saying the process is broken, too many people not delivering enough houses, and we need to do something about it.
Most definitely, I think if one would say that maybe you need better people in KL, maybe you need to pay more. Well, a lot of people actually move to KL for higher salaries because they pay well.
Yep, I know that as
They
for a
pay
fact.
really well.
Yeah.
So the salary is not an issue, but then it's just I suppose the KPIs are not being monitored.
Where's the problem? Where is the real problem? So why are so many people not being there? We're in the middle of a housing crisis. Yes. So why are there so many people not delivering enough houses?
I think one of the reasons is that the efficiency is not being measured, and there's no one looking down and ensuring that these things are happening. It gets allocated to teams, whether they deliver 50 houses or 100. No one really bats an eye. There's always an excuse as to why. If a private if I had a private client and I had promised to do X and I hadn't been close to it, I'd be taken to task. Whereas it's KO, it doesn't, because no one questions the government. And it's just the taxpayers' money going down, trying to keep propping it up. And more consultants get hired to flog a dead horse sometimes, you know. If you get a good private sector technical person in there side by side, and just compare the delivery, and you'll see there's miles difference. Some of the systems that are implemented, it's just consultants being paid huge amounts of money to come up with ways and means of improvement, whereas these are just simple things. You don't need some high-paid consultant to come and tell you how to build a house or how to build many houses. There's people that are building, you can learn from other countries, and big housing companies in Australia are building thousands of houses. Private developers in New Zealand are building hundreds of houses, you know, very efficiently. And the other thing also is the cost of actually delivering this. This is social housing. Whilst I understand it needs to look good and be environmentally sustainable, why are very high-powered architects being hired to design social housing?
Right.
A small and mid-tier firm can easily design these houses. Why are social housing projects aiming to get 6-star rating and multiple awards? I mean, if I had an unlimited budget, my project will most definitely win an award. I mean, that's not the target. The target isn't to create absolutely wonderful projects using taxpayers' money so that you can win an award and say, well, this was a great project.
Well, that's not the purpose of...
It's not the purpose at all. The purpose is to actually create more social housing in a cost-effective way. If you know you're going to be delivering 1,000 or 2,000 houses, try a pilot project, try different things, and see what works, what doesn't work, and rinse and repeat. Have standardized plans. I mean, at the end of the day, you need a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house, and there's multitude of sites. At least have a blueprint of 10 or 15 sets of plans that are standardized. You know,
Yeah, it's like how the row houses were built in the UK.
Oh, exactly. A bathroom for a 2-bedroom house doesn't need to be looking any different from a bathroom for a 3-bedroom house.
Yeah.
It's just rinse and repeat. It's just a numbers game, isn't it?
It's an absolute numbers game, and sounds like we are absolutely failing at it. That's what I'm hearing.
We are. I mean, if you look up the trajectory of the number of employees year on year, how Kāinga Ora has grown, and then you dig deep and find the number of houses being delivered year on year, there's just no comparison. What are these additional employees doing?
That would be an interesting comparison to make, wouldn't it?
If they're not delivering more houses, what are they employed for? The main outcome out of all of this is to create more social housing, get people that are homeless into homes.
Who holds them to account?
I have no idea.
So somebody's got to.
It's somebody in the government. I guess that was voted to be there. There's really no accountability. Kāinga Ora has got an office in Newmarket, which is where hardly any of their clients are.
Right.
Their clients are in the suburbs. So I don't see any reason why they've moved into building in Newmarket, refurbished the whole thing, millions of dollars. It was in the media a couple of years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And they've taken over basically the whole building. I mean, why on earth would you as a social housing provider have to have an office in Newmarket?
The most expensive real estate.
The most expensive real estate in Auckland in terms of business.
Point. Yeah. It's a very interesting point. Yeah.
So these are some of the things that really doesn't get questioned, and it just get brushed, under the carpet.
Yeah.
And something needs to be done, because it is actually our money that is being used for this.
Yep.
So we should really have a say in this matter. In terms of just railroad, some of the community housing developments that just gets railroaded, community input is just feedback's taken on, but they still carry on doing what they want. which really isn't fair to anyone, to be honest. But I don't know what will be the end all for this, whether any change is imminent or not.
Something needs to change, doesn't it?
Definitely. Something needs to change, but I don't know what. But a good start could be just holding people to account internally, and set some easily measurable metrics.
Publicly available.
Publicly available. A number of houses is an easy one. Well, this is a team of 30. How many houses have you delivered? And what are the, and measure them. So that's really not happening.
It's an absolute shame. Hopefully that changes.
We hope so.